Allow the children
It's
to
okay.
handle the budget every
It's
year.
okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind. Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó jòjòjò.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó jòjòjò. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ aráyé. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is brunch time with Maiyegun. Please read the caption of this broadcast, the description of this broadcast. Like it. Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Maiyegun today. Then they happen. And usually this is the snippet into what to still expect later today. Tell everybody that cares to listen that Maiyegun today. Everybody shaking your konsuraki. The vuvuzela's, the ass lickers, the praise singers, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the all risers, they are working overtime to kind of try to push the narrative of the failure of thiefnubu as not thiefnubu's failure per se. The majority of you are just misunderstanding him. Meanwhile, the last time you saw the drama, the shamelessness from these supposed National Assembly members, House of Representatives, was when they invited the Briberisky, VDBM, and others. Now, they are currently pushing back after thiefnubu's speech on Independence Day. The Independence Day speech that thiefnubu gave, where he said he was going to honor the thieves. Starting with Akpabiole, as well as Abasi, the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So some of them said no, the title or the honor they want to give to their speaker is too below him. Share this. Today. So good morning to you once again, and good afternoon to you. Good evening to you. Depends on the time you are tuning in. If you're on your way to work or you're already at work, all you have to do is plug in the earpiece, okay, the headsets, and yeah, just kind of hide it there. If you are the type that can really sit back and watch it that way. If you are at home, for example, you just came back from work and you are about to take some rest. I am talking to those of you who are currently in the morning, like in the Americas and all that. So sure, share this duel like I've advised earlier, and then sit back and enjoy what I have brought to you this morning. And to the rest of us who are in this part of the world, it's already afternoon, you know. So it's either you're on break or you are almost living work. And if you are not really working today as well, right, enjoy this. A lot, they happen. So thiefnubu's failure is staring everyone in the face. But they need to hire more and more people to tell you that whatever you are going through today is either your fault, or even if it's not your fault, then it's this temporary. So you shouldn't blame thiefnubu for it. And there are people you should blame. They want you to blame. And yeah, we will touch that this morning or afternoon, depends on the time, wherever you are. This morning, a video made it to the internet that shook some people, that got them to begin to ask questions. Questions like, even during the war, it wasn't like this. During the military, it wasn't like this. When did the people become so poor that they are queuing to be given a free bread? This was in Lagos Island, Lagos. And a lot of questions. Some said, well, people brought this upon themselves. I kind of tried to say, no, they didn't. Okay. If all of us want to be honest and sincere, right? Sometimes we all need to be honest and sincere, even if you don't want to. Okay. If it's something that's not your forte, please try to be honest and sincere. Okay. The Lagosians rejected thiefnubu. I am talking about massive rejection. Before they did the INEC abracadabra, thiefnubu was beaten blue-black. And that is why today it is not fair to blame Nigerians. As much as you might say they are docile, they are weak and all of that, I don't think so. They have a system that is already rigged against them, and it is more or less like a lost battle. They can't win except they man up and then destroy this entire system, which they haven't done. They thought they could do that through their own, through the ballot, but they found out that they couldn't. But let us all be honest and sincere. Lagosians didn't vote for APC. They rejected them. Despite all the threats, all the open threats, the bribery, and the rest of that, they beat thiefnubu in front of his house in Bodilon. They beat him blue-black at the back of his house in Bodilon. They beat them at Alimosho, the supposed biggest local government area in Nigeria with population, I mean by population. APC, egbekegbe, was destroyed in Lagos until they had to rig it and bring the figure close. The original vote from Lagos showed that Lagosians actually voted for Labour Party, Peter Obi. 980,000, more than nearly 1 million vote was actually recorded for them in Lagos until Mr. Yakubu and Co. changed the figure, brought it so close because they couldn't say they won. It's impossible. So if you want to blame people, I don't think it's fair to continue to say the Yorubas this, Yorubas that, or the people who are suffering in Lagos deserve it. They don't. Despite all the threats, thiefnubu and his lousy thugs, agberos, they could only bring about 142,000 votes, original votes, less than 150,000 in the whole Lagos. The place they told you is the landlord. It was rejected totally. That is the truth. So if you sit somewhere, maybe you are seated somewhere in Abuja, or you are seated somewhere in Aba, or you are seated somewhere in Sokoto, or wherever you are tweeting or commenting from, it is so unfair to look down on people who genuinely rejected these people until the system changed the entire result. You witnessed it. You saw it. So it's unfair. Even if they come around today and they say, being power, you shouldn't be blaming them. Like, maybe the Yorubas voted for him. It's unfair. I know some of you are bigots as well. Even though you may not be Yoruba bigots. We have Igbo bigots. We have Hausa bigots. We have Ijobi. So many of you were raised as bigots. No doubt. Right? But once in a while, Mokuna they use in a sense. What I mean by that is that stop pointing fingers because you wanted to point the fingers. thiefnubu was trounced. It was beaten blue-black. And that was brought about the Yoruba Ronu that Olori Buruku, that your Israel of RSIEC, when they came out and said, Yoruba Ronu, how can you be leaving your own man and be voting for Igbo man? Abeti Bagbe. That was what brought about the Yoruba Ronu, these Yoruba Koolu people, they called their fellow Yorubas Omoale. They are rejected thiefnubu. thiefnubu was rejected in the entire Lagos State. And it was obvious, the record is there. To the point that they had to kind of start threatening people. They had to start going street by street, threatening people with violence, attacking people 2 weeks later to stop them from coming out. And that was how Sonweku got rigged back in. That is the truth. So every now and then when you want to spread your bigotry and you want to probably, enjoy your own stupidity of having a chance of, having a go at the Yorubas, some facts needed to be, to be put out there all the time. Just to remind all of you, I know everywhere is pretty much like tribal this, tribal that now. Well, fine. But that won't change some facts. The fact is that nearly 1 million people, right, voted for Peter Obi. They cast their vote. The result was there until they changed it. That is the fact. Despite all of their Yoruba Ronu this, Yoruba Ronu that, Agbero this, Agbero, with all their money, they couldn't gather 150,000 votes for thiefnubu in Lagos. They couldn't. To the point that they started attacking their fellow Yorubas, calling us Omoale, calling Yorubas Omoale, telling them that, pointing fingers at the Yorubas that if you dress fine, if you look good, you must be Igbo, you must be this. Apart from those they paid online, the online Vuvu sellers, most of them are not even in Nigeria. They are in London, they are in America, they are in Canada. Those who are spreading the tribal hatred, the ethnic hatred, tribal division, this and that. Most of them are not even in Nigeria. They do not have the number to make thiefnubu anything. He lost in Kaduna, he lost in Sokoto, he lost in Katsina, he lost in Lagos, he lost out of 6 states in Yoruba land. He lost in about 3 of them, majorly in Lagos, where he was supposed to be the landlord. He lost. But some of you will still abuse Yorubas, call Yorubas names because of this drug dealer. Yorubas did not support this drug dealer. There are older Yorubas in their 50s, 60s, so the bigoted ones that will tell you that but they did not have the number. They do not have the number. I just thought I should remind you. Unfortunately, people couldn't be saved, or since the system is already against them, it was the people versus INEC. thiefnubu no rich, he no rich, but he has the money to buy the institutions that will change the figure. And they finally told us, they said, no be person where they vote matter. Now the person where they count the votes. All of you voting, you are not the one that really matter, that counts. It's those people that are counting the votes. And indeed, the Nigerian Supreme Court judiciary, they validated it. Yorubas rejected this drug dealer, this kleptomaniac, this certificate forger, Yorubas rejected him in majority. Unfortunately, some of you probably have forgotten that today, since it is now convenient to swim in this your tribal, Olympic, ethnic bigotry. And yeah, but it's always good to remind you, by the way, and we will keep reminding you. So we know that thiefnubu is the enemy of Yoruba land. Thiefnubu is what? Enemies of Yoruba land. Everything thiefnubu stands for is opposite of the Yoruba's interest, always. And today, they've captured Nigeria, and our people have now been subjected to this.
Sauban, all that's good. I didn't go on. Oh yeah. Over. They go on me.
That's what they have reduced our people to. If they are not sharing rice, they'll be sharing bread. And it is now a palliative economy where thiefnubu and his gang, they have no solution to anything. They've destroyed Nigeria. And this is just the beginning. So what do you think the National Assembly members are busy doing? They are fighting over national honor for their speaker. Because what else do they want to do? They have been paid, settled, and pretty much like useless as they have always been. Bunch of criminals are fighting over GCON and the CFR. Take a listen.
While expressing our gratitude to Mr. President for recognizing and honoring the leadership of the National Assembly, we note that the conferment of the title of Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger on the President of the Senate and the conferment of the Commander of the Federal Republic, CFR, on the Speaker of the House of Representatives and Deputy President of the Senate perpetuates the inappropriate subordination of the Speaker to the President of the Senate. The House notes that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who is lower in protocol ranking than the Speaker of the House of Representatives, was also awarded the title of GCON, further exemplifying this culture of discrimination against the leadership of the House. Concerned that there is an ongoing and inappropriate culture of discrimination against the House of Representatives, often portrayed as inferior to the Senate, through languages that consistently refer to the Senate as the upper chamber and the House of Representatives as a lower chamber. Mr. Speaker, this terminology misrepresents the legal status of both chambers and diminishes the House standing.
Mr. Speaker, this is not about Tajuddin Abbas. This is about the fourth person in the protocol of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is about the equal chamber as enshrined in the according to Section 47 of the Federal Republic Constitution of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, the two chambers, House of Representatives and the Senate, as clearly provided in the Constitution, work to create laws for the good governance of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, in accordance to protocol of this country, the Speaker is the fourth in protocol. The CGN comes after. Today, the CGN is given the award, the honor of GCON. I think there is some mismatch, some mix-up. The president is no shy. He does not shy away from going back to correct the wrong. Mr. Speaker, the House of Representatives accords the honor of GCON.
Nukofia Federal Constituency, indeed the largest constituency in this federation. I want to align myself with all other previous speakers. I wouldn't be talking from the standpoint of opposition, but I am indeed saddened that each regimes that come, they keep on repeating what their predecessors did. I think something that is very constant, they said, is change. I wouldn't want to say that the president is a listening president. There are already indications to show that he's not. But I am thinking that what he has already pronounced need to be changed before it's confirmed, because we can't continue to be repeating the mistakes of the past. So he has every opportunity to respect the 360 members of this House, who has also fought so hard to bear the responsibility of certain policies of this government. We are the people that have already tried to calm the entire country down with our number. We need to be respected in that form. As other people argued, we are not talking for a person who is sitting as the speaker. We are talking for the institution, before, now, and in future. I want to thank Okangawan, who organized and brought the entire 359 members, including him, making it 360 of us to bring this thing to bear. Time is now for change. What is constant is change. We need the change. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Not the APC check. The APC check.
The news of the Senate President giving GCON, which is a good thing. We also expect that the same way in the Federal House of Representatives. A reason being that we are operating a bicameral legislature. When it comes to budget, the role of the House of Representatives, everybody knows that this House plays a more crucial role than the Senate. We are not making comparison because this is a bicameral legislature. It's not about you, it's about all of us, the 360. We are not speaking as individuals. We are speaking in unison. The position of the 360 is about protecting Parliament, that there is issue with our Green Chamber in terms of the last honor that was given by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Looking at the promotion of the Chief Judge, who was just few days sworn in, it gives some of us heartbreak to hear this sad news that this House, the Speaker of Parliament, the Speaker of the people, the Speaker of Nigeria, is honored with CFR.
Constitutional point of view, House of Representatives have more powers in terms of dispensing our own duties, because the power of appropriation is vested in us. And two, there's nothing, we are not subservient to any other legislative arm. We are supposed to be apart in terms of functions. And I think where we are getting it wrong and where Nigerians are getting it wrong, each time there are matters, they say President or Chairman of the National Assembly. It's not done to the Constitution, it's not placed in any place. And this has given rise and occasion to some of the things that are happening now. And I want to mention specifically what Honorable Sada mentioned. Last time when this thing happened, in leadership then of the Ninth Assembly, we sat, discussed, and made up our point to say that is not right, and even advised that we return the honor that was awarded. And I think a letter was communicated. What we expect is follow up to that letter for them to do the right thing. In fact, when the lists were released, the first thing I can tell you for sure and free was to go through and run down the people who were awarded such with honors. And when I saw that, I said, we are still in the same old place. It's like the people who are supposed to do the right thing have not done it. And
ours is just to appeal and show reason why things should change. It's not like we are trying to confront him or to say what he did is not appreciated. So I would want to kindly ask you to withdraw that prayer, please.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, sir, I go ahead and reject and withdraw the prayer in honor of you and Mr. President.
So thank you very much. So
nuisance, Lily.
A bunch of nuisance. Yeah, they actually spent like about an hour discussing that back and forth about national honor. There is this guy, I think the one from somewhere Rivers State.
Real Godwin. I represent the fabulous people of Degema Boni Fidro constituency. I'm from Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, I wish to bring something to our notice. The National Honors Act of 1963, sections 1, subsection 3 says, I would like to read. Subject to Article 2 of this warrant, the numbers of persons appointed to the different ranks of the orders in any calendar year shall not exceed A. In the case of Grand Commander, which is what is in contest here, in the case of Grand Commander, 2, as respect to the order of the Federal Republic, and 10 as respect the order of Niger. What it simply means is that for GCON, for every calendar year, it shall not exceed 2, in line with the National Honors Act. So if the Senate President has been given 1, it therefore means we are going to ask in our resolution as well that the CJN shall relinquish his own for the Speaker, not necessarily Tadujin, but for any Speaker of the House of Representatives until we amend this act. You cannot exceed 2 in line with this act. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
So that one is asking the CJN to reject our own so that they can give it to Speaker. So that's what they are. That's what they are busy with yesterday. As the entire place was like going down the drain. That's tied to GCON, national this and that, because they are still going to have a ceremony for that. Maybe when thiefnubu is back. You see, the what you call it, the vuvuzelas are returning. The likes of these two guys, Wala Eleyingoro, as well as Reno Omokri, they are back, and they are back as unofficial spokespersons for thiefnubu to fill in the vacant positions that will help them to come and talk to you Nigerians, to give thiefnubu time and chance Buwala Elenyigoro was right there on channels yesterday as an unofficial spokesperson for Koolu, discussing the Koolu's cabinet, by the way. Here is part of that conversation.
One or two things about his ministry might be impressive, but unfortunately he
Lagos Part 1 or Lagos Part 2, and most people that have worked with him in the past. But let my producer bring back some of the faces of those whom some Nigerians have identified as the prominent faces in the Thiefnubu cabinet, and those whom they say maybe might be retained or not. But Mr. Buwala, how powerful though would a change of cabinet be for President Thiefnubu? Would it make any significant difference? And some of what Mr. Koolu Johnson said about the politics that play out within the presidency.
The good thing about President Bola Tinubu is that he knows what he wants, and he cannot be controlled. There are people you say, okay, if they put one or two things together and bring it to him, he might be swayed by them. But if you look at him, and both historically and now, is that if, for example, he picks interest in you, no matter what he said against you, it will not move him. He's going to be driven by data that he has come, in contact with, and then the decision he has formed on the basis of that. But you see, the choice of who the president works with or doesn't work with is that of the president. It is his prerogative. If you look at Section 5 of the Constitution, it is clear that the executive powers lies in him, and he carries out those duties there by himself, vice president, ministers, or organs of government. It might be a valid argument that people will say there shouldn't be concentration of people from one place or the other. If you look at the people they call, from what I'm hearing and reading, they call the Lagos boys, they are not necessarily indigenous of Lagos. They come from their various places around the country, including Southeast and the North. But probably because they lived over this period of years in Lagos and have worked with him in the past, probably have one link or the other, that is the assumption that he's placing the Lagos boys over and above others. The discretion is that of his. That is my thinking about it. But the most important thing is that there are key, and bringing it back to the issue of Honorable Femi Bajabiamila, is that there are key positions in government that by their very nature, they are bodyguard type positions, that you can never be seen as a good man for the whole of the period, you say, because the nature of that place is to take the bullet for the president. You are going to be making decisions on his behalf that he will otherwise not do. So those who do not fancy that decision will not be in your good books. Sometimes you are probably the reservoir or the depository of some of president's decision. The people whose decision favor them will be happy with you, but those ones that decision disfavor them will not be comfortable. All I'm saying in a nutshell is that whichever you turn it, governor or president, the Constitution has empowered him to choose the people he will choose from across the country that he thinks will help him in achieving his mandate. Measurement, I think, should be competence and compellability. You asked about the ministers. I don't think there is anybody in Nigeria that is in doubt that there is a fundamental problem in the administration of ministries by some ministers, because we now know there is a KPI and citizens can actually access it. They call it citizens tracking. You can actually go there and see the KPI of a ministry. And when you see that KPI, you also know what the minister has done. And on your own, you can gauge, based on what has been said as the schedule for him and what he has done or not done, and form the opinion that
Lagos Part 1 or Lagos Part 2, and most people that have...
So like I said, even Reno Omokri is back too, after 8 years hiatus, when he's been away, but we'll come back to him. He put this up yesterday, that he's now in Nigeria. He took the picture with thiefnubu 2 days ago, and then before thiefnubu left Nigeria for the UK, okay? But the same Buwala guy had this to say before now, which I think was basically the truth that ever came out of his Guru mouth, by the way. Then we'll go back to what is renewed, his own renewed weary.
I'm not perturbed by that, but let me tell you what they are selling to the Nigerian people, what they call renewed hopelessness. In their renewed hopelessness,
What is the economic model?
You call it renewed hopelessness, but they call it...
Does not even know half of what Buhari knows about government or national security. If you have the time, I will tell you more about what they are campaigning with as an agenda or as a rhetoric that he did well in Lagos. I will tell you, between 1999 to 2007, if you take out context, he actually performed worse than some governors in Nigeria, because the Lagos that they say he did, he improved the revenue, he only collected tax. All the infrastructure needed for a state or in fact a country to develop was on ground. Lagos used to be the Nigerian national capital. Before Nigeria was formed, Lagos was a colony. You have all the infrastructure for economic development. As what you didn't establish them. There was seaport, there was airport, you have commercial activity, all the embassies are there. So transaction with foreign envoys is in Lagos. All the hotels are there, headquartered in Lagos. All the banks are headquartered in Lagos. All security apparatus, every facility and infrastructure for economic development was in Lagos. He didn't bring them. Asiwaju did not invite or introduce or brought to Lagos any serious foreign investor or domestic investor. And these revenues we are talking about that they claim he has generated, we are on. It's just that the government didn't have the infrastructure in collecting those. So what he did throughout this period was to collect tax. That's what they claim by revenue. And even then, the reason he did that was because the company that was collecting the tax, the company is allegedly traceable to him. So if you pick a man on the street and you tell him, I want you to collect tax in a given area, your percentage is 30%, he will be optimal. He will be highly effective. This is the summary. But let me tell you what he did in Lagos. One, he attempted to destroy democracy. He wanted to introduce what we call monarchical democracy. A democracy that is not reflected by the will and wishes of the people, but reflected by the choice of a man, and people should run around it. He introduced the concept in politics in Nigeria that we call take the queue, follow the queue. He was the only governor in Nigeria that during the period of 7 years, he has had to impeach his deputy governors 3 times and change them. He's the only politician in Nigeria that nobody wins under his tutelage unless the person is chained or
are not perturbed by that. But
that is Barawo Bowala, who is now the unofficial spokesperson for thiefnubu. He is now one of those pushing the agenda that thiefnubu is going to change his cabinet. He's going to sack some people because they are the ones that are not working. All right? They are the ones that are not making thiefnubu's work show. The reasons why you are suffering, the reason why your economy is in the gutters. Wait. From what he said there yesterday, here is another part of it. From me too, I just kind of take you back to last year, all right? Where I believe he was pretty much honest. But now, he's looking for a job. And that job is to come and add to the number of the propagandists that will keep lying to you. As if to say lying to you will actually change anything. Here, he now has an opinion about thiefnubu's illegitimate regime. And he's the unofficial spokesperson. Listen to this.
1 or 2 things about his ministry might be impressive. But unfortunately, he may have come to them.
Let me take you up quickly on what the president said yesterday.
Right.
And there are those of the school of thought that on an Independence Day speech,
right,
your achievement or government propaganda should never surface in an Independence Day speech. Maybe the writers are not thinking in that line or not. There are those who think that Independence Day, you're supposed to be talking about Nigeria's unity, the effort of the heroes that put the nations together, that helped form with the independence. And those who thought that Independence Day should be talking about Nigerians and not about what a government is doing. There are other days for that. And in fact, when the president has said ways and means, there are a lot of people who said that is not correct.
You see, if you look at our code of arms, you will see the creed: unity and faith, peace and progress. Any of these areas, you can outline them or talk about them in your independence speech. So unity and faith might be about unity, about Nigerians, about just like the America they call the State of the Union. But peace and progress also talks about the progress as a country we've made so far. And if you look at his speech, he actually touched on them. He talked about how we have come away from what would have destroyed Nigeria in the 60s, I think 1966 or so, the Civil War. And talk about the progress we've made, talking about how to avoid what will create a problem for Nigeria. He also talked about his own government, because he is to account. On Independence Day, you account to the Nigerian people how you manage the the commonwealth of the people. With respect to the ways and means, it is blown out of proportion, for God's sake. I know that this is politics. A lot of people will pick one or two things. The crux of the matter with securitization that they are talking about, the ways and means, if you look at the speech, if you look at what the government has done, it is a matter of, I won't say semantics, but probably perspective. If I collect loan from you, Sheun, and it has accumulated to a point where it becomes heavy, that if I have to pay it, it will ground me. I may not be able to do anything. If I reach agreement with you and then securitize it and then spread it over a period, 30, 40 years, where I'm going to be paying annually, but in such a manner that it will not even affect me at all, it will be safe for me to assume that I've addressed that problem. Because now I don't have to have high blood pressure. I don't have to have sleepless night. But then the other person is saying, you should have told us that you actually carried the money and give it back to the central bank. So it is a matter of perspective. The president was right on point.
The president was not right by saying he has cleared it. Is he right?
He has addressed the problem.
He saying he has cleared it is not true.
No, but what I'm saying is, now whether you call it cleared or address the problem, the whole idea of loan is burden. And so if you collect a loan that creates a burden that makes it impossible for you to move, your prayer and pursuit will be to deal with that situation so it does not impede on your progress. Now, this ways and means has been, a portion of it has been securitized, right? But there has been an agreement with the central bank in such a way that it has been restructured and spread over a period of years, where the government now will be paying and paying until it offset finally. So it will not, in my view, probably people with numbers can come up with issue, but I am talking about perspective, I'm not talking about numbers. The perspective is that we have addressed the problem. Now we don't have to have a problem. We can govern, we can pay our debt, we can invest in infrastructure, because the issue of ways and means now is no longer a thing that will give us sleepless night.
Mr. Johnson.
A restructured loan is not a paid loan. The president is wrong. You've not paid, you've not paid. You've cleared means you have paid. I mean, you can't pay by semantics. Of course, if we'll still have years to pay back that particular loan. So you can't say you have paid when you have not paid it. If it said, we have restructured so that we can do ABC, fine. But saying that he has cleared, that's a lie. I mean, on a national television, I'm sorry. Number two, you asked about appointment from certain places. During Buhari era, when we raised these, what they told us? He can work with anybody he likes. Well, funny enough, later the same people were now, shouting that why do we have, all the heads of particular agencies from same zone? If we are repeating the same problem, you must address this. See, the president addressed the topic of unity in his broadcast, in his speech, and he said something that we have learned to use our diversity for our unity. No, we haven't learned that. You know that Nigeria right now is more divisive like ever. So it would have been a time for the president to demonstrate, leadership in bringing people together, in unifying the country by ensuring that you don't have so much noise of marginalization of some people. Now, we have laid the foundation for a country that when each man gets there, he wants only his own person. He wants it's not just the president. If you put a man in an office today, go check the list of appointments, the list of those he will employ there. They will probably come from more from his religion, more from his own place and all that. That identity politics, we must address it in Nigeria. Right. There is no region that has the monopoly of competence.
Let's take a break. I need to.
你别笑，我做一个专业的语音吗？你别笑。
They said they should test the mic. The way it was like that. So Buala that is looking for a job of a spin master is so stupid, is so kind of like a, foolish too, right? And so incompetent in doing it that it is so embarrassing, right? The man that once said this about thiefnubu, I'm going to replay this again, just kind of like to wrap up this mofo, trying to help get a job to help whitewash thiefnubu by trying to use what they call the semantics, using the word play to try to make everybody sound like you are the one who don't understand him. He's a criminal that used to work for Atifku. Now he's so desperate to become one of those collecting money and traveling around with a thiefnubu and lying to you.
I'm not perturbed by that, but let me tell you what they are selling to the Nigerian people, what they call renewed hopelessness. In their renewed hopelessness, what is the economic model?
You call it renewed hopelessness, but they call it...
Does not even know half of what Buhari knows about government or national security. If you have the time, I will tell you more about what they are campaigning with as an agenda or as a rhetoric that he did well in Lagos. I will tell you, between 1999 to 2007, if you take out context, he actually performed worse than some governors in Nigeria, because the Lagos that they say he did, he improved the revenue, he only collected tax. All the infrastructure needed for a state or in fact a country to develop was on ground. Lagos used to be the Nigerian national capital. Before Nigeria was formed, Lagos was a colony. You have all the infrastructure for economic development. As what you didn't establish them. There was seaport, there was airport, you have commercial activity, all the embassies are there. So transaction with foreign envoys is in Lagos. All the hotels are there, headquartered in Lagos. All the banks are headquartered in Lagos. All security apparatus, every facility and infrastructure for economic development was in Lagos. He didn't bring them. Asiwaju did not invite or introduce or brought to Lagos any serious foreign investor or domestic investor. And these revenues we are talking about that they claim he has generated, we are on. It's just that the government didn't have the infrastructure in collecting those. So what he did throughout this period was to collect tax. That's what they claim by revenue. And even then, the reason he did that was because the company that was collecting the tax, the company is allegedly traceable to him. So if you pick a man on the street and you tell him, I want you to collect us in a given area, your percentage is 30%, he will be optimal. He will be highly effective. This is the summary. But let me tell you what he did in Lagos. One, he attempted to destroy democracy. He wanted to introduce what we call monarchical democracy. A democracy that is not reflected by the will and wishes of the people, but reflected by the choice of a man, and people should run around it. He introduced the concept in politics in Nigeria that we call take the queue, follow the queue. He was the only governor in Nigeria that during the period of 7 years, he has had to impeach his deputy governors 3 times. And he
is not alone. Remember Reno Omokri, the guy that went all about to tell you how he traveled to Chicago State University to verify that indeed thiefnubu be a heroin trafficker. thiefnubu did not go to school and he forged his certificate, blah, 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 blah. He was a guest on TV, Arise TV in Nigeria at a point, talking about thiefnubu, egbekegbe.
Look, I went to Chicago myself. Nobody told me I went to Chicago myself. I went to the court where Bola Tinubu had this issue. I went to the Chicago State University. I went there, I saw the documents myself. Bola Tinubu is a known drug lord. I went there. Another person isn't telling me. You see the picture on the screen? I took that picture. If you move to the right, you're going to see me in that picture. Bola Tinubu is a known drug lord. He has this man who is meant to be the Minister of Labor and Productivity, I'd rather say on productivity, who went on TV to try to hoodwink Nigerians, telling them that the charge against Bola Tinubu was just for tax, that all he paid was tax, and he had nothing to do with drugs. That is a big lie. I have the document here. here. Nigerians can see it. I hope you can see it on the screen here. I have the document here. It actually says, and if you look at it, it says docket. A docket, and as I'm speaking, your viewers can go on Google and fact check me. A docket is used for a criminal pending. A criminal pending. So you don't use a docket for a civil matter. And then right on the very first paragraph on this docket, it says that this is a forfeiture action under section under 21 USC section 881. USC is the United States Criminal Code. I will say it again. USC is the United States Criminal Code. Now, if you're watching at home, you can go on Google and you can fact check me. The United States Criminal Code is Title 18 USC, United States Criminal Code. And I'm going to read what section 881 of the USC, the Criminal Code, says. Now, this is it. I'm reading it. Nigerians can see it here. This is what I'm reading. It says, the following shall be subject to forfeiture to the United States, and no property rights shall exist in them. All monies, negotiable instruments, securities, or other things of value furnished or intended to be furnished by any person in exchange for a controlled substance or listed chemical in violation of this subchapter, all proceeds traceable to such an exchange, and all monies, negotiable instruments, and securities used or intended to be used to facilitate any violation of this subchapter. The word used there is controlled substances. Now, for Nigerians who understand this, a controlled substance are what they call narcotics, hard drugs. In this case, it was white heroin. Bola Tinubu was involved in a white heroin cartel. And he was the treasurer of that cartel. And then he put some monies into an account. He was working for Mobile. And as he was working for Mobile, his salary was $2,400. Yet he paid in a total of $1.4 million into several accounts. Now, he was asked to explain how he got those monies. He could not explain how he got those monies. So one of those accounts, the monies in there, $460,000, it was forfeited to the United States government. It was not taxed. Now, there is only one agency of the United States government that has been given the authority to take forfeited amount, and that is the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. If you look at the case of the U.S. state, the state versus Ishmael Zambauda, who was the leader of the Sinaloa drug cartel, the exact same language that was used in this docket is the exact same language that was used for that man, Ishmael Zambauda. And if you're watching me, you can Google it. That it says that you agree to forfeit $5 million to the United States. Word for word with what was used for Bola Tinubu. The only difference is the amount. Bola Tinubu forfeited $460,000. Ishmael Zambauda forfeited $5 million. But the source of the money came from the same place, drugs.
Yeah, but Barry, let me come in very quickly. So some people who also the school of thought will say to you, forfeiture is in fact a civil proceeding, not a criminal proceeding. What do you say to that? Also, an indictment is an allegation. Not a conviction. There is that school of thought around it. Does it hold any weight for you?
No, I have a master's in law from the United Kingdom. You know, the man who came to speak, what's his name, Festus Keyamo. And look, the Legal Practitioners Privileges Council, they have to sanction Festus Keyamo because what he did was either very dishonest or very ignorant or both. And you've got foreign embassies who are watching this and they have equivalent titles to the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. If they watch on...
Also, the other time they were working for Atifku, Atifku was paying for their plane tickets, especially this clown, right? To him, he was doing something. Meanwhile, it was David Dunbeyi who released all of these detailed damning reports. He latched on it to make himself sound like he's exposing the drug lord. He even went on in December 2022, when thiefnubu was in London, at the Chatham House in London. The clown was there. They love Nigeria. You know, they are trying to save all of you from a drug dealer, druggie. And he made this video, if all of you can remember.
And then he also said that, well, it was a forfeiture of assets. And if it's a forfeiture of assets, then Bola Tinubu is not a criminal. Listen, I'm going to read for you something on the website of the Department of Justice. And I'm going to put it in the description box of this video so you can watch it yourself. Now, I'm quoting $160,000 drug money to the government. So it's an asset forfeiture. You know, he does not have the right to say that he was not convicted or is not a criminal. He is a criminal. And so that's what I'm trying to tell Nigerians. This has nothing to do. Nobody is paying me. Nobody is hyping me. I'm doing this for patriotic reasons, for love of my country. We cannot have a known drug lord as our president. No. And if Bola Tinubu is saying that what I've said is wrong, let him take me to court. It's a simple matter.
And then something happened. Reno Omokri switched and he started going after the Igbos. First, he just went all out for Peter Obi for God knows why. And he became, a chronic Igbo hater. Igbo this, Igbos that, Igbo this, Igbos will never be this. To the point that it became something like more or less like a mental health problem. And he was doing all of that because he believes that the obedient, they are Igbos. So therefore, when he went for Peter Obi, because of Atiku, all right? I mean, I'm talking about somebody who just abandoned Atiku that was paying him totally and started attacking Peter Obi. And rather than face the obedience, he started attacking Igbos this, Igbos that. And you know that people will not give it, they're not going to just look away. All for God knows why. I don't know why. He became so obsessed that the obedient now made his life a hell. I felt sorry for him at some point, though. Then as an Igbo hater, he started attracting all of the APC Abobakus, the tribal bigots, especially those ones living abroad. They started camping, they started defending him against the obedient. You get that now? So if he says something, and the obedient comes for him, the thiefnubu supporters, they will be defending him. They started camping on his different social media handles, and he just became a bad idiot himself. And it paid off. It paid off. Somebody who ran away from Nigeria since Bokwari became president, with the fear that they were going to arrest him. At some point, they put this out, something like this, where he said, let us face facts. Look at the state of thiefnubu's teeth. Look at the state of his urine-soaked agbada. How can a man with such poor personal hygiene be entrusted with the fate of 200 million Nigerians? And Atole will be our president with a question mark? Nítorí kíni, for what? One shake did they cost us? This was Reno Omokri. All out. I don't know what changed in him. It just became, and because the only people that were kind of defending him were the thiefnubu supporters. He just found solace with them. And on the 30th of September, Reno Omokri flew to Nigeria for the first time in 9 years. First time in 9 years since Goodluck Jonathan, his boss, lost the election to APC. Egbekegbe, he flew to Nigeria. And he was given a pass to meet with thiefnubu on the 1st of October, 2 days ago, where he took this picture and uploaded it yesterday with pride that he finally met the drug lord on the independence of Nigeria. He was so happy. He had to dress in his most fanciest Yoruba dress. Ashoke. Pretended to be like a Yoruba boy. You get that? To go and meet the drug lord. And he put it on social media to say he spent good time with thiefnubu inside Old Rock, the place he used to work. He used to be like Akuri Nigalaila, yo. That guy. They used to call him Pastor Reno. It's a long story, anyway. So it's a shame, unfortunately. But it paid off. So what I figured out is that, if you want to be in the good book of APC, just make sure that you become an Igbo hater. Even you as an Igbo man, you must prove that you hate Igbo. You hate yourself. Forget it, they'll give you a red carpet. You need to be an Igbo hater if you want to be in the good book of APC. And I'm not saying this to make some of you, the Igbos, feel good about yourself. You don't even need me to make you feel good. It is a fact. I have seen people who switch that way, and they are currently pretty much comfortable with them. You must, if you want to be trusted by these criminals in APC, and then thiefnubu and his gang, you must be an Igbo hater. Even if you are an Igbo person, you must show that you hate your people. You have to show that, or else they will never trust you. Even though they won't really trust you, but that can give you a very good, easy pass. If I want to fly to Nigeria tomorrow now and get a red carpet, all I have to do is just spend another 3 months, batch the Igbos. You this Igbo, you this Igbo people, you Igbo this, call their names. You will see all the Abobakus. They will camp here. First, they will say, see, Maiyegun, thank God you have seen the light. We told you that these Igbo people cannot be trusted. Because to them, they think, when I speak out against the systemic sort of Cold War that has been unleashed on the Igbos, they think I am saying that because I don't want to be in anybody's good book, because you know what? I understand what ethnic or tribal profiling means. I have seen the damages it has caused. And I know that it's never in anybody's interest, because if you are not Igbo, you are not spared from the consequences of a failed country. That I'm a Yoruba man or you are a Yoruba woman, you are not spared. You are all going, the democratization of the destruction of that country is democratized. Everybody go collect. So it is foolish to think you are going to get a special treatment by joining them in anti-Igbo rhetorics. Because they are not giving us, who are not Igbos, any special treatment per se. All of us, our lives know what anything to these guys. They enjoy that division. And they do that. It's like, people dying of the bad governance and all of that. And then they want to say, well, I thank God I'm a Yoruba, at least you are stupid to think that. The Cold War is for the political class. And that is why when you see the Cold War that has been unleashed on the Igbos in Nigeria since after that 1970, which it became official. Before, it wasn't, because people were still controlling their regions. If you hate them, if you like them, that's your business. But they are in their region, everybody is running their own thing. But after that 1966 genocidal war, it became an institutionalized Cold War. If you want to advance in anything in that contraption, that you want to benefit from it, you must show your anti-Igbo personality. It is there. But what people didn't know then is that even though they are like grooming a lot of you to be anti-Igbo, this anti-Igbo, that, even Igbos themselves were being raised to be anti-Igbo. That's how bad it was, right? Then you will see that the Igbos, there are Igbos who knows that there is a systemic Cold War against them, systemic profiling, systemic this, right? But they wanted their own share, so they joined. Those are the ones that would deny and say, no, our people say, our own people say they own too much. Let us be honest. Igbo, I'm Igbo. I am Igbo too. The Igbo people, they own too much. These are those who have like become the pick-me of the system. They're like, you know, I need to benefit too. Do you get that now? So last, it wasn't in anybody's interest. And one thing that actually got me to expose most of that is because I know that the way Nigeria is, right? It's just about giving a dog a bad name to hang it. Which simply means it could be the Igbos now. The table may turn tomorrow and then it will be the Yorubas, or the table may turn tomorrow and it will be the Hausas. And the system that allows that to continue is a system that's going to kill all of us at the end of the day. It doesn't serve anybody's interest. So that's why I said, when I speak out about this whole thing, I am not trying to want to be in anybody's good book, because which book? Last, we are all victims of a failed country that doesn't really serve anybody's interest, except the interest of that minute few. That's how you will see them at the top. Whether they be Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Ijo, or anything, they are not divided, they are united. Now me and you, they pick, what is that difference? What makes me different from this person? Oh, what makes me different from that person? And all of that, me and you, they fight that fight. But when you look at them at the top, they are all united. So that is why I know this, okay? That if you are not Igbo and you want to go far in a corrupt Nigeria, just push your own anti-Igbo. If you feel carry on for head, you could go far. Because they will begin to trust you. They will begin to feel like, okay, we can trust this one. Anyway, that is why a lot of us believe that if we really want to save ourselves, it is better we break up this contraption. Make everybody go day, their day. Day your day. They run your things. Respect everybody's differences. You get that now? I'm a Yoruba man. You are Igbo. We are not the same. You are Hausa. Is Fulani. You are Ijo. Is Ibibi. We are not the same. If we can respect that, what we need is respect, not love. Let us love ourselves. No. Shut up. We need unity. You demand unity with who? You need respect. That's what we need. Respect ourselves. Respect our boundaries. Respect our differences. You are Hausa. Let me respect you as being an Hausa person. Let me know what makes you different, unique, and I will respect it. I'm a Yoruba man. You are Igbo. Let's look at what that difference means, and we will respect it. If we can respect ourselves, then we can live together. When I say live together, I'm not saying live together as one country. We can still be together as a neighbor, right? So people, they create all this mad unity nonsense. Unity werewo, and unity oshi. Unity that is filled with suspicion. Be very careful. You know that is a Yoruba man. All these Yoruba people, they cannot be trusted. Though. You need to be very careful. If they are beginning to try to be nice to you, you know they are Yoruba. Then another one will come. Hey, you need to be very careful of these Hausa people. I'm telling you, you know we are Igbo. We cannot trust these people. Be very careful. Another one will come and say, you know we are Yoruba people. You better be careful for these Igbo people. And yet you want to have the same country. What unity are you talking about? How can you be united when you cannot respect your differences? We don't speak the same language. If an Igbo man is talking here now, I'm going to be lost. If an Hausa man is talking now, or Fulani, or anybody, and speaking their own language, I'll be lost. Similarly, if I begin to speak my Yoruba right now, there are many of you that will be like, what is this thing that I don't even understand what he's saying. Then what unity are you talking about? What unity? Unity of what? Unity without respect? Recognizing our differences for real? So that I can know that as an Igbo person, as a Yoruba person, we are not the same. Okay? We are not. But I can respect you as an Igbo man. And you have to respect me as a Yoruba man. Kind of make sure that we don't pass that boundary. That is what we need. Not unity, not love, and not this nonsense that these criminals are kind of propagating. We are not the same. Let us all come together. Now God created Nigeria. We need to come to what? It's not going to work. Where somebody is kind of saying, all this Nyamiri, all this Ofe Manu, all this Aboki, this, you know what this is? They ask laws that tells you that we are just pretending to be one. Because politicians want us to pretend to be one. You can't pretend to be united when you don't have any respect for yourselves. So you need to be an Igbo hater properly. That one is institutionalized in Nigeria, period. If you want to go far in politics, in business, in that contraption, you must make sure you are a certified Igbo hater. It's not just non-Igbos, including those who are Igbos themselves. They will deny themselves. I say, well, my brother, our people want too much. Why would you say that about your people? Because they want to be in the good book of others. They want them to be trusted. And say, I don't agree with all our people. Why? Because they have said all the bad things about them. And you want to show that you are Igbo, but you are not like them. What the hell? And that is why Nigeria will never make any progress. Nobody respects who they are. Talk less of respecting others for who they are. And that's why you see a Fulani that will tell you that Nigeria is the old estate of their great-grandfather. I am from Ijebu. Until the end of the Ijebu War, nobody conquered the Ijebu land. Nobody. Never in history. Nobody conquered us. Not even the Oyo Empire. Them born them. As Oyo Empire fought so many wars. They don't reach Ijebu. I'm an Ijebu independent person. Egba has got independence before any part of what is today's Nigeria. Egba, they got their own independence as far back as 1890 or something. They were independent. They're like a special country on their own. Before the colony of Lagos or whatever you call them. The Egba people. So, why would they Fulani say that Nigeria is their estate of their forefathers? So shape with money. That's what I call the disrespect. The disrespect that they have kind of forced on us to make us believe that, yeah, that's who we are. Just accept it. What the hell? No. So that's what we are talking about. We have a lot of differences. We must identify those differences. Respect them. If you cross that line, you are asking for problem. You are asking for trouble. That is what we need. Not unity nonsense, begging for unity. We are one country. All of us should be the same. Which same? Same, Weibo. Anyway, I had these people who have also come together as well in Rivers State. You know, they're having election in 2 days. Friday, Saturday, yeah. On Saturday, they're having their supposed local government elections. And they are united, PDAPC, because Wike controls PDP. He also controls APC in Rivers State. He also controls Labour Party. You see these three, they are under the thumbprint of one man. Okay? And Fubara, who feels like his people, they stand no chance, have decided to move all his guys to APP for the election. So that it won't be caretaker committee or caretaker chairman. It's going to be elected chairman in a local government election. And PDAPC were like, they united. They are protesting together for the first time. PDAPC, they protest against Fubara, APP, what kind of bromance is this? So we captured this today.
We have notified the police, we have notified all the security agencies. And INEC yesterday said they have never released any voter register. Yes, sir.
Are we in lawless state?
Yes. So I want to thank all of you, to thank all of you, to be peaceful. There's nothing to fight all about. We have no them for the election. We are not fighting because we want to be court organs. And court are taking the judgment from Federal High Court on 30th of October, taking it clear INEC not deliver any documents. And they said she won't go ahead because the election. So we as a party, we have to fight. We are not a banana republic where every time we disobey one order. It is a judgment. So I want to beg all of you. Let no person authorities that are concerned. So as we are going, I want us to go to let no person let's go back to the party office so that we can back.
You know, normally, right? They're not the local government election per se. They just write the results. But for the optics, they will pretend to be doing campaign and all that. So since Wike took over the structure in what was supposed to be the state congress, so his own guys are now in charge. So Fubara's guys, they will never get the ticket to run on the platform of PDP. And Fubara is the one controlling the RSIEC. All right. The RSIEC is meant to conduct the local government election. Even though there is a current bill, or her bill is not yet law, that the National Assembly passed that INEC should be the one conducting local government elections now, Mr. Yakubu. But it has not become any law. So the PDAPC are now staging a protest to say INEC have not released the voters register to the RSIEC. So RSIEC that is authorized to conduct the election, they said that the court has given them the go-ahead, which means they have the voters register to use. So PDAPC are now saying that register cannot be used. They must wait for the INEC register, or else this election is going to be rigged. So they went to court. They lost. The court said that they can't stop the election. Election must hold. So they are now protesting that RSIEC is now under the thumbprint of Fubara. If Koolu no dey at all, Rivers State was supposed to be a PDP state now, since Fubara is PDP. Okay? But because of all that wahala, APP is the new party, but Fubara is still in PDP. So they are now staging a protest to say, RSIEC is sold out, is compromised. He cannot conduct the election. After losing in court, they would think a protest will change it. So some of them are waiting for INEC. So the one that says it's an INEC commissioner. INEC commissioner, what's it concern you with local government election? Because Wike controls all that. Right? So they are doing everything to see if they could probably stop it. But there is not going to be election. They're just going to announce the winners by the evening of Saturday. By Sunday, Fubara will bring all these people, all his own friends, APP guys. He's going to swear for them in the government house on Sunday as the winner, or latest by Monday. They will declare all of them winner. All the councillors, all the local government chairmen, all of them will be APP. RSIEC will announce them. And they will tell all of them to go to court. That's how they do it. And by so doing, Fubara is now building his own political structure. Even though some are saying that before now, one of them even confirmed, the one that's supposed to be the APC APC chairman for River State. I can't remember his name, but maybe you see his name. Something Okocha. You remember that guy? The one that was opening a bottle in a video I shared with us a while back. They have Fubara. If you did follow Fubara, make you know follow corner. You remember that? So I'm going to go bring the video. So he once confessed that they used to write the results anyway on a national television. Remember?
Mr. Kocha, let me ask you. So, were you really rigging elections like you said while you were chief of staff?
Yeah, that.
Mr. Kocha, it's been said everywhere now that you yourself said it while you were chief of, you were rigging elections.
Yes. I didn't talk about what I said to him. First and foremost, I need to let my brother know that the world is empire, not empire. So just for his information. Then on the issue of whether I rigged the election, I didn't hide it. I should be paid as a whistleblower.
Wait, a whistleblower for rigging elections? People who rig elections should be behind bars, not giving praise.
No, that's not correct. If you were an armed robber yesterday, and today you come to confess that you stole something somewhere, something, are you saying that the law will not take retroactive effect? The answer is no.
Mr. Kocha, let me ask you. So, were you really rigging elections like you said while you were chief of staff?
Yeah, that.
Mr. Kocha, it's been said everywhere now that you yourself said it while you were chief of, you were rigging elections.
Yes. I didn't talk about what I said to him. First and foremost, I need to let my brother know that the world is empire, not empire. So just for his information. Then on the issue of whether I rigged the election, I didn't hide it. I should be paid as a whistleblower.
Wait, a whistleblower for rigging elections? People who rig elections should be behind bars, not giving praise.
No, that's not correct. If you were an armed robber yesterday, and today you come to confess that you stole something somewhere, something, are you saying that the law will not take retroactive effect? The answer is no.
He confessed, he said it. When I was chief of staff, we used to rig election. We just write the names, we just write the winners, and that's how we were doing it. So if Fubara says he wants to conduct election, he's not conducting election. He's going to write names. We must stop him. I am a whistleblower now, okay? Because I am no longer in the position to rig election. So I don't want them to rig us. So I'm blowing the whistle now. That's how we do it. So you should praise me, okay? So that we can stop them. It's crazy, that contraption, man. It is crazy. Talking about craze. One police officer ran mad on the streets of Akwa Ibom yesterday. And this is pretty much a better way to send a message to some of you Nigerians, though. A police officer will run mad on the streets. People made video of it.
I swear, if we have the wicked person like this, tomorrow not there. I want to drive for you. You don't turn mad now. I don't want to know what happen like this. I don't like they go now. No, sir.
I want one more. I'm telling him. By then, I'll go get one.
There could be two reasons. Some believe that because every police officer he's been collecting bribe or he's been making people's life hell and all of that. No. Forget that superstitious thing. Two things. One, depression caused by the situation in that country has been bottled in for so long that it has now moved to his mental health, and at that point he had that crisis. Or drugs, drug abuse, which could be what triggers something. So if you see anybody that started displaying that act of insanity, instead of love now to begin to think, they don't, what to do, what they don't use this one. Evil people don't shake. Please, if you can, try and grab them. Okay, grab them and call for help. Possibly take them to the hospital. Stop kind of feeling like, nah, evil people don't swear for ram, or nah, some people don't turn in head. It is common. And I know this thing will just make some of you just yemu for me. But I'm being serious. You see, this superstitious way of our existence needs to stop. When you see people that display any act of insanity or some weird behavior in public that way, there could be a lot of things contributing to. Oh, I'll leave you to it because there's no way I can even convince some of you. Even some of you who are not living in Nigeria. It's going to be hard to say that leave all these superstitious things. But Maiyegun, stop that one, Jari. What do you mean? If you know how many people where they curse these people, if you shake it, okay, fine. People are cursing them, okay? So I hope you will know that these are people who need help. Whether it's a police officer or an Okada rider. It could be somebody who has abused substance, drug, or somebody who is going through hell that it's beyond, you know what I mean, their control. At that point, they are off. It's called crisis. Grab them, and at least call for help. Because I know some of you believe that if you enter market that way, then if you cure them again, that is superstitious nonsense. I grew up believing that myself. Okay? And the reason why you see a lot of people that you call mad people out there is because a lot of us concluded that when they run, many people kind of have that kind of mental psychosis, right? It must be spiritual. And there is nothing you can do, especially if they enter markets. That's not true. If you have people who have a psychosis or what have you, they can be managed and they can still live a normal life if they get help. Am I sounding like Onyibo already? I'm being serious. We've allowed so many people to live this rough life, sleep rough, and all that because we believe that somebody somewhere run them mad. Somebody somewhere made them mad. That's not true. And we know some of you are like, I've seen people. See, I grew up in Ijebu, okay? I have had people who have, who they said they were confessing. Hey, I will confess. I will confess, oh, I will confess. Hey, you see that my brother that died? Now make it I use them for, I contributed, I donated his destiny to my court, to the witches. I will confess, so say, confess, in Jesus' name. Heavenly, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire, confess. All this nonsense needs to stop. That is why I don't like all these religious people. I don't like you. You have used this level of ignorance, you have used your religion to cover up this ignorance, and it has become part of us. You see an elderly woman, you say, Nami killer. You see that your wife will not get belle. Nami they do am. Nami carry a womb, a chopper. I take a cook soup. That person is suffering from mental disorder. But to you, the person is confessing. Is confessing all their bad things they have done. And you begin to spray them water at the oil. Holy Ghost fire! Holy Ghost fire! Oh yeah, confess! Hey! If they burn me, oh, fire, oh! Yay! Help me, oh! Fire! Say yes! Oh yeah, Holy Ghost fire! Yeah. These are people who are suffering from mental problems. But no, I know you won't agree with me because of your religious mind. But that's a problem here. I know that some of you will also have problem with me that way too. Because to you, they talk nonsense, they talk waiting and no. Fine. It's because they have done so much number on you that I don't even know where to start from. I don't know where to start from. So when we begin to look at what damages religion has done to us, and a lot of people who have actually built their fortune from this level of ignorance, and they want it to remain that way. I've had places where they will be beating people up. They will beat them up and they say they were healing them from their madness. What the hell, man? So where are we going to start from? So when I saw that video of that police officer, I was like, Nigeria. Right there, everybody, people when they see with police uniform already concluded that maybe somebody they don't go do bad thing to somebody as a police officer, and that person don't go report them to their village people. Nobody wants to look into, could that be a substance? Could that be somebody who is suffering from mental health problem that they didn't really get help? And indeed, you see in Nigeria, they say 70% of you have mental health problem. Yeah, your past Minister of Health said that. But what did you do when you heard that? You all laughed. Now all of us, they're mad. You even joke about it online. Oh, Maiyegun, now only 4 of us stay normal for this country. I say, yeah, me and 3 other people. Oh, Maiyegun, we know well for this Nigeria. Now only 3 people, now only 3 of us stay okay for this country. I say, you joke about it. Because to you, it's not really a thing. Some will even tell you, Baba, na mad person feel live for this Lagos. If you know mad, you don't feel live for this Lagos. You must have this madness. Or else they go cheat you. Or else they go chance you. For this Lagos, you must be mad. Like it is part of the criteria of survival in that place. But that is not the kind of madness I'm talking about. I'm talking about psychosis, schizophrenia, stuff that actually really touches your mental health. And there is no amount of, even if you have any good life, you could suffer it. And there is nobody anywhere that is turning you mad. Somebody who wants to make you mad. And they're tying rope around a shigidi. And they're calling your name. Maiyegun, 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 yeah, run mad. I say, Maiyegun ti yawere. Maiyegun ti yawere. Hey. Elemu. Somebody, the kneeling down of a mother. Who did this to this young man? How can you do this to this young Jesus Christ? You are healed in Jesus' name. Heavenly Father is, come on, man. The ignorance is so deep, and it is scary too. Sincerely, you know. So the system is so bad that it is hurting us so much. The ignorance is so deep that it is killing us so much. You just have no idea of where to start from. Where do we start from? Where? And I hope somehow, some of you will probably do better when you have a chance. You remember the story of that Musa guy that got locked up by his own superior for refusing to hand his gun over to another officer as ordered. Remember that video? So he was locked up, he was locked up for 6 years without trial or anything. They locked him up in a guard room to the point that he lost his mind. His wife came out a few weeks ago to start a campaign that brought his story to the limelight again, to the attention of a lot of people, and finally, he was released. So they did a court-martial of him 2 days ago. And they asked him to plead guilty. He pleaded guilty, and they dismissed him. Just like that.
Having read this count straight to you, tell this for, do you understand the charge, or should I read it again that you don't understand? You understand the charge? Okay. Having informed the court that you understand the charge, how do you plead? Guilty or not guilty on that charge? They are giving you another privilege, another time, another opportunity to make your plea, because this is a proceedings for change of plea. If actually you want to change your plea in this charge, you have told the court you understand the charge. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this charge? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, sir. Temper justice, mercy.
Okay. Thank you, Your Lordships, distinguished members of this General Official. The charge has once again been read to the accused person. 3 count charges read to the accused person. And in line with the proceedings for change of plea, that's a it asks to enable him change his plea. he has successfully pleaded.
Terminated his stuff. They locked somebody up for 6 years without trial for disobeying an order of one superior. Until the story came out, it probably would have been in that same lockdown, or that locked up detention for maybe another 6 years. They didn't offer to help him. They put him straight to trial so that he can plead guilty. And then they dismissed him. That's Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Nigeria. So if you put yourself through that kind of situation that you want to go and serve your fatherland, who says Nigeria is your fatherland? I plan to serve my fatherland. Are you mad? I will be a Yoruba soldier and say, I plan to serve my fatherland, Ile Yoruba, Ile Olominira, Ile Yoruba. I will play to that one. But serve your fatherland, Nigeria. You decrease. They will use you and dump you. And your family will probably have to deal with that for the rest of their lives. So, no. It is sad. But it is what it is. So I saw that Tokunbo Wahab, the Commissioner for Environment in Lagos, carried out a raid yesterday. And they raided the place where they said the sex workers who didn't take care of their environment attracted the Ministry of Environment in Lagos, that Tokunbo Wahab is their commissioner. And this happened yesterday.
No, don't stand in my front. Don't stand in my front.
How much are you saying to that place? Carry this thing over for this place.
Okay, there is no road here. Okay, no road here.
The mega shitty, the mega slum that they told you thiefnubu built. The reason why I love the videos of Tokunbo, the environment commissioner in Lagos, is that apart from the arbitrariness of how they carry out their operation, the unprofessional way they carry out their operations, as well as the inhumane ways they carry out their operations, it also gives me the glimpse and it gives me the opportunity to show to you the Lagos that they don't want you to see. Possibly you who have never been to Lagos, or so many of you who have not been to Lagos for years. It gives me an opportunity to show them to you, show that Lagos to you. And then you can ask yourself and say, what exactly makes this place a mega city? And why is Maiyegun always calling why does Maiyegun call the place the mega slum or mega shitty? That is why I love to see the videos of Tokunbo. To show to you that whatever they are telling you about Lagos, apart from those fancy pictures you see, it is worse than a slum. And if anybody lives in Lagos that thinks, it is an abuse. Shut up your mouth. I am from that Lagos too. I bet Mokwawa Ijebu only part of Lagos. Yeah, we the Ijebus, we are part owners of that Lagos. I'm not talking about your Lagos Island, which is your Eko. But the moment you begin to go to Ekpe, you begin to come to Ikorodu, and you begin to go to Shomolu, you will know that these are partly owned by the Ijebus. I'm talking about the Ijebu land extended to those places. They are not like Ijebus moving there. No. Ijebus didn't move there. Ijebus own those places because they are Ijebus too. And then, yeah, my family actually owns part of that Lagos too. Yeah, like some of his family too. We are so kind of invested in the place that we have our own streets in Lagos. My papa get house there. Don't even go there. When you say Lagos, and when you look at what they have made of it, you just shake your head and ask yourself, what makes this place a mega city? The roads? The drainages? The water? What exactly makes it a mega city and not a mega shitty? It could be one of the best places to live, by the way, but no, it's been handled or managed or mismanaged by a bunch of criminals whose only interest is to see what they could make for themselves. And the rest of you, You can go to places. Who cares? You know, the mega shitty. And you remember that time they said, you know, we exposed what we heard and what we saw. Eh? God bless you, Jare, Yomi, Polologun, Abologun. These are not you. Ijebu didn't move. Don't say Ijebu moved to, but no. Ijebu land. You see, Lagos, when you say Lagos State, it is the Atamo, Jama, join, as they draw the map for Nigeria. And so they join everybody together, join this, join that, and all of that. Sure, you get to create some of your states in Nigeria. So we didn't move down. We own the lands that makes part of Lagos State as Ijebus, Egbas, on and on like that. That's why you see some of those people living in Ifo area and all that. And they will say, are you in Lagos or are you in Ota, Ifo, and all those places? You say, are you in Lagos or you are in Ogun? But no worry yourself. Now, when they draw the map, drill the map, and they say, some of you here, you are in Lagos. Some of you here, you are in Ogun. And then you have to go and answer the name of whichever part you fall into. Don't be so. Huh? Well, if they allow everybody to actually choose where they want to be, right? Maybe Eko, Etiosa, Eko. Etiosa, God said it's not Isaleko. Isaleko, go, like that small space then is where they call Eko. But the rest that they attach here, they are just like the other people from other places, they call them in. And that's why you have that mega shitty today. It's unfortunate though, right? Anyway, you remember that story that initially broke on the plan to relocate or to create a training camp for the Boko Haram victims from northern Nigeria, relocating them to Imo State. And people reacted. Then, denied. He said it's fake news. See, what they are doing right now is that they want to try, they've paid some people to say it was fake news that led to youth of that community to set ablaze the property. No! It was thiefnubu station that actually announced it, that they were bringing millions of internally displaced people from IDP camp from northern Nigeria to eastern part of Nigeria. You're not going to give them support. You're not giving them, what do you call it? You're not giving them international airport. You're not giving them trains, fast trains to be cycling their region. You want to go and dump IDP people in their place. And when the people reacted, you said it's fake news. It's not fake news. This is the original news. In case they begin to kind of arrest people illegally. This was the news that told the Igbos that they are bringing IDP to your place. Not any other development, but IDP. And the Igbos that were actually building this center, training center in eastern Nigeria, bringing people who are victims of Shematini.
Attention to Imo State, where the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has concluded plans for the training of refugees, migrants and internally displaced persons on skills acquisition. Federal Commissioner Tijani Ahmed stated this during an inspection of facilities for the training at Nso in Ehimembano Council area. Senior reporter Prince Suba has details and will return with business news.
According to UN Refugee Agency, Nigeria is home for over 85,000 refugees and asylum seekers. About 3.3 million people are living in internally displaced camps as a result of conflict and violence at the end of 2023. The country is still rated among the 10 countries with the largest number of IDPs globally.
Let's check what he has done.
Worried by this increasing trend, the federal government is making efforts to begin training of these vulnerable people in acquiring skills to reduce unemployment. The National Commissioner for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons and his team are here on an inspection of this facility located inside the National Open University of Nigeria Study Center at Nso, Ehimembano local government area of Imo State.
We in the National
Attention to Imo State.
They turn around to deny. They said it's fake news that they are bringing these people from the northern Nigeria, bringing them to share the wine. So if you want anything to, because right now in eastern part of Nigeria, there are confirmed 7 refugee camps comprising of people who are victims of different, attacks in Igbo land. 7 refugee camps that people actually know them. People go there to donate and contribute and all that. So if you have people that you want to support and train, go to those refugee camps in Igbo land, not bring people from northern Nigeria or what have you. Let them create their development for them in that northern Nigeria. Okay? Create the training centers for them there. As it stands, it is an affront. It is an insult for anybody to propose any training center for some imported IDP from northern Nigeria. Put it that way. And that's where I'm going to draw the curtains this afternoon. I initially was going to take calls, but let's keep that till evening. I am going to see you later this evening, okay? So thank you so much for joining me on this brunch time. And if you joined us late, maybe you should watch this from the beginning again. To the rest of us who have been here with me, kindly like the broadcast, okay? Like it, share it, subscribe to my channel. Can you guys see that we are now kind of closing to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube? We only have just about 1,300 or so more subscribers to get to 100,000. A milestone. It took us a long time, but it is always late. It's better late than never. So thanks to every one of you who continue to share these platforms, their content, invite people to kind of like and follow. Thanks to every one of you. And I am going to see you again this night. Inshallah, I shall see you. Good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun diary politico. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Maiyegun ti dé. ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì òkúra olóṣèlú ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rájì ayé ẹ̀sùn rájì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì o. ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ráàkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.